Humans spend an enormous amount of energy trying to leave a mark. We take photographs, we chase fame, and curate digital footprints. Behind this effort is a shared anxiety, the fear of being forgotten. We want a guarantee our identities won't crack and crumble into dust. Shakespeare wrote Sonnet 13 to a young man whose beauty seemed unreal. While belonging to a romantic sequence, these lines serve as a blunt rejection of comfort. The antagonist here is time. Every second on the clock actively pushes the human body closer to old age and physical decay. Beneath the elegant Elizabethan language, Shakespeare points at the reality of mortality. He forces the reader to confront the fact that our physical identity, the face we see in the mirror, eventually disappears. The poem begins with a blunt legal reality. Your physical self and your identity belong to you only as long as you are breathing. Shakespeare introduces the concept of a lease. On this timeline, a vibrant block representing youth is tightly bracketed by unmoving markers, a temporary contract. Because nature holds the title, the term limits expire, and the contract crushes the youth into nothingness. Dropping a real estate metaphor into a poem about aging makes beauty feel incredibly fragile. It carries an absolute expiration date. We live as if we have an infinite amount of time, even as the terms of this lease dictate a specific end date. When that lease runs out, Shakespeare asks a specific question: who lets so fair a house fall to decay? He equates the human body to a carefully constructed building. Framing a beautiful face as a piece of architecture makes aging feel like the tragic waste of a structure left to rot. And the elements outside that house are brutal. Shakespeare describes time as the stormy gusts of winter's day, representing the finality of aging and death battering the unprotected roof. Time, in this sonnet, is not a gentle clock ticking quietly in the background. It is an aggressive, violent force designed to rip apart any house left unprotected. To defend against that destruction, Shakespeare proposes a biological defense mechanism, having children to pass your existence forward. This illustrates passing forward your sweet semblance, your essence. Before the original node darkens, it duplicates and sends that copy down a lineage line. Those duplicates multiply. Shakespeare treats beauty as a generational inheritance, a biological gift cascading across new generations before it fades. The argument shifts from theory to personal duty in the closing lines. You had a father, let your son say so. It reminds the youth that he only exists because someone else passed life forward. Passing life from one physical link to the next becomes humanity's most literal answer to mortality. Generational continuity is the tool we use to cheat the storm. If we fast forward 400 years, we can see if that biological defense mechanism actually worked for the young man in the poem. Look at what happens to that historical record on our family tree. If the youth ever had children, we don't know them. The biological lineage loses its structure and dissolves into static. His physical bloodline is lost to history. Shakespeare spent the sonnet urging the youth to survive through children, yet the poem itself became the only thing that lasted. The physical bloodline failed and the literal body decayed. But the poet's words survived intact, securing a victory over the exact storm the poem described. The poem refuses to offer false comfort about living forever. Instead, it issues a demand. It tells you to build something, whether that is creating art, raising a family, or impacting others, that is truly strong enough to outlive your physical lease. 4 centuries later, millions of people still analyze the details of this unnamed youth. This ink sinking deeply into the parchment is the evidence that Shakespeare's method of defeating time actually worked.